What is up, everybody, and welcome into the Losers Lounge.
Yeah!
Wait, they lose, but they're the 3 seed. Man, what a weird one. But there's a lot. I'm glad this week is finally over with.
Dude.
This week has kind of sucked.
This week has been terrible.
Limbo, just lingering. The regular season just lingering.
It doesn't know, it just doesn't know when to leave. It's obviously overstayed its welcome.
It definitely overstayed its welcome.
Get
It was
the hell
definitely
out of here, the season.
the season. This is definitely like the relative that's been in town 3 or 4. When's your flight? Oh, it's not till Tuesday. I got a good deal. Tuesday of next week. Oh wow!
Don't mind me. I'm looking for my tried and true Portland soft meme to throw back out. I just want to make sure that everybody's prepared.
Are you already in fight mode?
Yep.
Wow, Eric's in fight mode already. I like it.
Listen, you just don't talk about fight mode.
Okay, that's the first rule. That's the only rule, really. All right, guys, we're presented as always by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app. You can download it right now. You could bet like I did pregame for Michael Porter Jr. to get 3 3-pointers. He only played a handful of minutes. We didn't know if he would get it. Well, you didn't know if he would get it. I did. He did get it.
I said he was going to get it.
You did.
It was that guy that said that.
Did you bet on it?
I did not bet on it. But you know what I did bet on?
What'd you bet on?
I knew Nurkic was going to go all out.
You did know he was
that
gonna
guy.
go all out.
Did you win money from Yusuf Nurkic?
Absolutely.
You know what that's called? Blood money. How's that
That
feel?
is blood money.
Dude.
That is total blood money.
What?
Yeah, that's right.
Wash your hands of it.
Do you spend it the same way?
No, you shouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, you should spend it with shame, but I mean, do you spend it the same way? Of course.
Is this my water? Does anybody know?
Yeah,
that's my water.
That's yours.
That's my water. All right, guys, I got the Mandela & Co. over here.
Let's go, guys. That was the worst game I've ever seen in my entire life, except for the last game that we just watched.
No, you didn't.
I'm ready for the
Did you not
playoffs,
watch the Thunder?
Nope.
The Thunder Clippers. That was the worst game that's ever been played.
No, I didn't. It didn't seem like it came right down to it.
Well, it did come down to the wire for sure.
Dude, there was at least something entertaining in that game. This game was
Unentertaining.
Oh, Jesus. To put it lightly,
From the
unentertaining.
No.
I'm telling you, NBA, Adam Silver, I know you watch. I know you're watching right now. Next year, allow teams to just show up, point at the scoreboard, award the other team a victory. Let's get back on the plate. What are we doing?
I also got my main man, Dev, superstar Dev.
I'm glad that you said that Thunder game was so bad, because that one, it irks my nerves, because they lost 25 out of 27 games. They were getting blown out. They looked committed to losing every single game.
I know.
And then you
Have
go
some
out and
goddamn
lose, you go out and win
conviction, dude.
tonight. What was the point of the last 25 games if that was the case? If you were just going to say, you know what, we don't even want to tank anymore.
There is no
on the
point, dude.
last game.
There's no point.
They were getting blown out every single night.
The world is cold and full of chaos. There's nothing makes sense. Logic is lost. Screw Poku.
Oh my! You don't even want to get me started.
I do want to get you started on Poku.
I don't get it.
This is just a quick heads up to everybody that's watching at home. We are going to have live shows Monday through Friday this week with some great guests. Waiting on a couple of real big guests. But Tuesday, George Carl, Keeping It 1000 podcast going to be here. I don't know if I can say any of the other day. I think
really?
I don't think I can. All
right.
But we'll keep it a mystery. We have some great guests. We're going to be doing live shows, and I promise you, 5 shows. We're going to have plenty of time to preview the series. Tonight, we're going to take our first quick look at it. It is going to be the Nuggets versus the Blazers. But first, I want to stick to tonight and what happened tonight on the court. We'll do a little bit of time here. Dev, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the all-out tank, 1 being all-out trying to win, where was Denver tonight?
They wanted to lose from the opening tip.
Were they a 10?
It was a 10.
Okay.
It was a 10. And I would say it go to a 9 later in the game. They were like, okay, we're letting them feel way too happy and we might have a chance to play them. Now looking at it, they are going to play them. There were some positive things to see. Jokic was okay, I could do whatever I want against them still. But then it's just their mental is probably they're afraid of us. No, nobody is. No.
No.
Do you think this was a 10 out of 10 on the tank scale from Denver?
Dude, can you go higher than 10?
This was not a higher. I actually think it was an 8, 9.
Oh, this is a 15.
The Clippers was a 10. The Clippers tonight was a 10.
This is a 45. Dude, the Nuggets were down by 20 points midway through the first quarter.
Yeah.
Austin Rivers missed his first shot, which was a floater, by 4 feet.
You think he did that on purpose?
No, I just think they're like,
If you could get Jokic to play under 20 minutes in a game, you tanked.
Well, they definitely had no intentions of winning this one, but I thought the first half part of it was just Denver. I mean, it's hard to fake urgency, guys. You can't fake it. And, like, Denver knew what was at stake, nothing. So, like, they knew that. Portland knew what was at stake, everything. So you got a little bit of this. Vogt, do you feel like anything from this game mattered? Be it momentum, be it confidence on Portland's side, any of that?
I mean, maybe Portland's feeling like they're glad they get to roll over the team they're about to play. I'm sure that couldn't hurt. I do want to say really quickly, don't think it can be a 10 out of 10 if you started those guys.
I agree. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but like for it to be any less than a 10 out of 10, that means that they had intention of winning somewhere. Did they have intention of winning?
Look, if they had intention of losing, they wouldn't have started those guys. But that's
right.
Neither here nor there.
Also not true.
Every argument is always an argument of degree.
That one can't be true.
I'm with you, Vogt.
I'm sure it helps Portland a little. But I honestly don't. Like, the Nuggets did the losing culture tank job thing last year, and then they went to the conference final. Like,
so true.
I don't care.
So
I think it's
yeah.
a fresh slate once the playoffs start.
Totally.
But I suppose if we were a Portland show, I'd probably be talking myself into some momentum.
Literally every team in the West that's not in the play-in currently did a tank job. Did some form of tank
Of course.
job. Everybody.
Shout out to everyone that watched that Clippers game at home.
Oh, man.
I hope you laughed so you didn't cry.
Well, take us right into the post-game commentary from Michael Malone.
I don't have much, guys.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I mean, like, really. He told Terry Stotts after the game, good luck in the playoffs, see you in the playoffs. Matt Moore asked him about matching up with Portland. Pretty generic answers. Terrifying guards. These two teams know each other really well. They're ready now for a hard-fought series. With regards to, anything he's learned in the last week or two, Malone would refer to potentially reacting to any of that as an emotional reaction, an emotional decision. He's not going to. The Nuggets know who they want to play, who they want to start, and they're just going to stick to that. So it was we're trying to fight this vibe of, like, skipping past tonight here on this show.
Right.
I think Malone was kind of trying to do that a bit in the presser as well.
You think so? Was he in any way focused on the events of tonight?
Let me say this. It's because us, the media, no one asked about tonight. No one asked about it. Everyone asked about Portland, and I think in that regard, Malone's just ready to get to work from a coach's perspective.
And myself as well. Obviously this week is going to be a lot about getting into the film, trying to watch a lot of Portland, what's worked against them, what hasn't. I've said for a long time, Portland, even last year I thought this, you have to tip your hat to them. I watch them play. I'm almost never impressed by them. They win so many games by 1 or 2 points, but they do it every year. Like, they always keep having this great record. So I think it's going to be an incredibly hard-fought series, and I think Denver's going to have their hands full. I think it's going to be a great fight. But let's stick with this game. There's a couple. I'll start with you. Do you have any takeaways from this game? Is there anything you can, no matter how small, that you're like, okay, I'm going to file that away?
I think just really the ability for Jokic to just go out there and half-ass it and still get whatever it is he wants. And there's no answer for that. There's no change in that. Nurkic scares him not even a tad bit, and there's no answers. Like, even when Nurkic is out of the game and they try to go with the backup, Cantor can't do anything with him. Like, Jokic can control the whole series by himself. And if he gets other guys to step in with him, that's still a very winnable series. I wanted the Mavericks, but bring on Portland. They're here. Bring their ass on.
I mean, come on, man. Like, why are we scared of Portland?
Because they traded Gary Harris. They don't have Jamal Murray. It's going to be some backup second and third string.
I mean, I understand why timid people are scared of Portland. Why people who are scared of life
I'm actually on Eric's side on this. I've been a little.
Fuck Portland. Like,
I was that way all season. Now this series is staring me in the mouth. I'm backtracking already.
I would have preferred Dallas, but it's not like. This isn't like going between the Lakers and Dallas. This is Dallas in slightly more difficult matchup than Dallas.
Yes. Yeah, and they did it.
Portland has one of the worst defenses in the NBA.
That's a good point.
And Nikola Jokic, when he's motivated and he's in the playoffs, like, am I scared? Like, this is the thing. It's like we'll start to talk about this and we'll be like, well, they got Dame and they got CJ, and I'm like, I don't want to hear that. Like, we need to start from them looking at, like, oh, they have Jokic. What are we going to do?
Denver does, in my opinion, unquestionably have the best player in the series. So it starts
do
from
they
there.
have the third best player in this series? That's an interesting question, I think.
They might have the third. I mean, it's tough because playoff experience really matters here. I mean, Michael Porter's such a mystery, having such a large role that he has. But we should go there now because I do have one takeaway. I actually have two takeaways. Number one, Bol still couldn't get into the game. And
He got in.
We got it at the very end, but we were talking about a tanking game and garbage time. It took all the way till garbage time for him to get in that game. So stay with it. That might have been the last time we see Bol. Maybe we'll see him in a garbage time if there is one in the playoffs, but I don't know. But my other real takeaway is that Michael Porter, he did it. I put this out yesterday. We talked about it in the pregame, but he officially now has the record for the best 3-point percentage single season in Nuggets history, and that's freaking awesome.
That is amazing.
That is freaking awesome. And then I didn't even know this one. StatMuse put out an even crazier stat: effective field goal percentage, which weighs the value of threes and ones, or threes and twos. Right? It doesn't factor in free throws, but just effective field goal percentage. Michael Porter now, of all players ever to average at least 19 points per game, Michael Porter's second most efficient ever, behind Wilt Chamberlain.
I've heard of that
Wilt Chamberlain, first of all, has every volume and efficiency record there is.
Because he
guy.
dunked
On and
every
off
play.
the court.
That's true. Like,
I don't know how efficient.
he's probably pretty efficient. But seriously, like Wilt Chamberlain was dunking on dudes, just towering over, dunking on guys, playing this crazy percentages. Here is Michael Porter now, Curry, LeBron, Kobe, Jordan, all these guys that are hyper efficient scorers. Michael Porter in his second season puts up the second most efficient by that metric.
And that makes sense. That's not surprising. That's not an outlier. And when Porter wraps it up, I'm sure he'll have similar accolades and records. I'm sure we'll see his name amongst those names on similar lists. This is a lot of guys obviously had some numbers inflated by what was the most potent offensive season ever. And that's important context. But the reality is when you're talking about Michael Porter Jr., you are talking about one of those guys in the shooting aspect particularly.
And that's what's crazy about it, man, is, I mean, look, this might be his most efficient year ever, but just being in that stratosphere, I imagine there's not a lot of players that have had remember, he is number one now Nuggets three-point shooting all time. Number one is 44.2%, I think, is what he finishes with. Number one. 2-point percentage. This is what's funny. He goes 3 of 8 tonight. If he would have gone 4 of 8, he would have had the best 2-point percentage season in Nuggets history. Instead, he drops 0.001% behind Nikola Jokic.
Way to take your eyes off the prize, Mike.
I know. He can't believe he missed it. So anyway, number one, 3-point percentage. Number two, 2-point percentage all time in the same season. I mean, this guy, it's funny. We're on a 2-year sample size now of him. It's not a small sample size. Maybe we're a little shell-shocked because Gary Harris had 2 great 3-point shooting and fell off. But we know Michael Porter's not like that. He's a volume guy. Right. And for him to now in his career be averaging 43 or 44% from 3, I just think it's who he is.
We had already claimed that this was the year of Michael Porter Jr.
It was.
And then he comes out and he really shows it. And then on top of that, Jamal goes down. He has to step up into a new role.
He was ready, man.
Being the guy, and he was ready. That was the thing that stood out the most is we say we don't know what he'll be like in the playoffs and things like that, but he's such a player. He's so ready just to prove that I can do whatever it is that is needed. Step up defensively. I shoot the hell out of the ball. I get to wherever I want on the court, and I'm ready for any moment that they could throw at me. And this year really did prove that. And he's just going to keep getting better. This is only the beginning of Michael Porter Jr., and it was damn good.
Yeah. Anything on Michael Porter and just, how you feel about him having been through this?
Excited.
Yeah.
Excited. We waited a long time.
We did.
To see what it would look like, Porter with the starters. And now it's something further than that. It's Porter as the second option. And, there's a lot of matchup stuff, but to be, I guess, kind of reductive in my analysis, to me, a lot of this might come down to who does end up being that third best player, CJ or Porter. And that could really swing this series. CJ McCollum scares me. Yeah. He has played Denver very well, especially in some of those games where Dane's been more quiet. Denver's never really had great matchups for him. Even Gary was a little bit small for that. And so you're looking at that now. I don't know if that's necessarily any better this season. Can Porter outplay CJ? I know they're not going to be matched up, but I still think that'll be a storyline for me.
Yeah, he can. And he will. He's better than CJ McCollum. He really CJ is really took it to us in Game 7.
Really did.
But CJ McCollum is not that all the time. Michael Porter Jr. just has talent
what do we got here? Some shots?
Oh, looks like we've been delivered. Are these?
Oh, geez.
Shots. Yeah.
Is this a milk-based shot?
This is your specialty?
Yeah, that's
Everybody say hi to Megan.
I love those.
Hi to Megan. We got a milk-based shot, just like we were all.
What are we
hoping
cheersing
for.
to? Because I feel like we're cheersing to
The
a lot.
3C.
The 3C.
Yo, this is why we have to Losers Lounge over. It's
Yeah, it's
Winners
true.
Lounge time. This no
No
more
more
math.
math.
But this
That's
is
not
to
bad.
the Nuggets improving on their win total every single year, including this year. This is for the Nuggets remaining in the top 4 every single year.
It's insane they're
in the
3
last
again.
several.
Insane.
It's just they're just moving up and up and up and up. I'm not scared of the Blazers at all.
I love it. We
I'm
gotta
not.
all get on Eric's
Yo,
level.
I'm not. Like, why should we be? During the season when we played the Blazers, I was like, dub. And it was. Like, tonight, we didn't care about the outcome. Oh, surprisingly, the Blazers came out, were ahead by 20 before it was even time for the Nuggets to look up. Like,
You're talking to me here. I like it. You're
draw
talking me up,
nothing,
baby. Let's
draw
go.
nothing from
Let's
this
go.
game. The Blazers have the worst defense that the Nuggets could have hoped to have faced. Nikola Jokic is going to make barbecue chicken out of Yusuf Nurkic, out of Inez Kanter. The Dame is going to start shooting from the logo way more than he should. It's Nuggets in 5. Let's go.
Let's go, baby.
Oh.
Cheers. Givali.
Givali. Oh, that was delightful.
That one
actually.
was delightful, actually.
I
It tastes
did-
like
that was
Christmas.
like,
I'm telling you, it's like Christmas.
You know, I never really think about drinking milk with peppermint in it, but
Yeah,
I think I may have changed my tune.
They should make more peppermint milk. I've always said this. I've always said it.
I do think as of right now,
Did you not drink yours when we just toasted?
I did like a sip.
What is going on over there, dude? Do you need help? Blink if you need help.
I do think as of right now, CJ's probably still a better player, but it's closer than some folks think.
Yeah.
I mean, Porter, I think outside of Denver, you might think, oh, Porter had a breakout prospect season. Like, no, Porter had a breakout season.
Yeah.
He's a very, very good player already.
But playoffs matter. I mean, that's
playoffs
the only
matter.
Of
thing
course
is,
they
and
do.
we're going to talk a lot more about this, but this is Michael Porter, like, under the microscope.
Right.
You know,
His whole
in a
life.
way, he
Right.
hasn't
It's
been for a
different.
long time,
Yeah, it's
so
different.
it is going to be different. That I'm excited, win or lose, I'm excited to kind of see what happens with it, because I just know everything for Denver will be a learning and a growing experience. Hopefully, you get to grow through winning, because that's always more fun. I don't think there's anything else to take from this.
Nope.
Is there anything else that you take away from the post game or anything from Malone's comments?
I mean, it was not trying to be lazy. There was nothing there.
That's pretty lazy.
I mean, I told you everything that was said.
If you would have asked a more specific question, maybe
Which question did you have in mind?
you just
Hey, Coach, do you hate Bull? Like, let's just
Yeah,
talk.
do you
Let's
hate
just
Bull
talk
Bull?
about it. Let's just talk about
we
it.
should be like honest
Yeah, you just be
media
like-
scrums. What would you ask? Do you hate Bull
There's
Bull?
an elephant in the room.
All right, Coach, man to man. He
Yeah.
would hate that.
All right, well, let's take our first break. Then we're going to talk about this season now, the season coming to an end. And then in the third
Wow.
segment, we'll do a brief initial reaction as we think about the Portland Trailblazers.
I'm
But
thinking.
first,
I'm thinking Portland in 6.
just cut his mic. What do you got for us, Vogt?
Ad reads?
What's it? Ad reads. Do we not have ad reads?
No, I forgot because I was doing the.
He was to do
upstairs.
the other
Oh,
thing.
he's
All
got
right, can you
everything.
give me a
Oh
minute?
boy, we are
Wow.
tanking.
We are taking the final
No, I
game of the
mean,
season.
It's not my fault. Harrison got engaged.
Harrison abandoned
Oh,
us.
talk
On
about tanking.
Jeez.
Unbelievable.
Did you guys see Harrison tweeted tonight about the Blazers matchup?
Does it really?
I replied.
He's
I was
working?
like,
What's
I said,
going on
bro,
here?
go be engaged.
Oh, all right. Well, he'll have to. I'll have a phone call with him about that.
Harrison is a true professional,
That's true.
and that's all he thinks about is professionalism.
Yeah.
So I respect that.
All right, let's talk about Breckenridge Brewery, the official beer of DNVR. You guys know we love our Breck beers and seltzers, but guess what? For this, it's summer, and Breckenridge Brewery is teaming up with National Parks Conservation Association this year. The tragic fires in CO were absolutely devastating for so many last year, and this is one of the many reasons that Breck is donating 1% of all their profits this summer to the National Parks Conservation Association. That's right, if you buy 1 pint or a pack of Breck booze, you are donating 1% of those proceeds to the great outdoors here in Colorado. We will be hosting fun events at the DNVR Bar to promote this awesome collaboration. You can come down, drink a Breck Brew or seltzer, and walk away with some awesome swag from our friends at Breck Brew. You can also enter to win $30,000 to win a $30,000 escape pod trailer. If you head to their website now and enter to win, just go to breckbrew.com/ingoodcompany, ingoodco. So that's breckbrew.com/ingoodco. That's breckbrew.com/ingoodco for more details on winning that $30,000 escape pod trailer. Good luck, and be sure to tag us and our friends at Breck Brew when you submit your entry to win. If you're not sure how to get Breck Brew up in your body, check out the Breck Beer Locator.
Open
We'll
your
tell
mouth.
you where the nearest Breck Brew is, what kind it is, and how soon you can take it home
You know what I just looked up?
and consume it.
You know what I just looked up?
What's that?
Hard seltzer is brewed.
Is that
what?
true?
It's brewed, not distilled. Hard seltzer. So it's still accurate to say Breck Brew when talking about the seltzer.
Oh, thank you for that.
No problem,
All
guys.
right, well, you guys know how much I love Strava Craft coffee. Unfortunately, lately, Strava Craft coffee isn't feeling that love, so we need to change that. I'm going to try to change it. I need your help. They're offering a new code to everyone. You can get 25% off your first purchase when you use code DNVR25. That's the CBD-infused coffee that alleviates certain symptoms for me, like anxiety, joint pain, IBS.
Oh,
That's Eric's
hell yeah,
favorite.
dude. Hell yes.
So you can get 25% off your first purchase now using code DNVR25. Use that same code. You can get 20% off every single purchase for life.
Harrison
when
super
you sign
chatted
up
you, Vogt.
to their subscription service and get you choose what dosage comes to you, what flavor every 2, 4, 6, 8 weeks. What did I do?
Vogt super chatted you, says
No,
or winded.
Harrison super chatted you. Vote shirt, 10 out of 10.
Harrison, how are you online right now? But also hello and congratulations. And yeah, that's it. Check out our friends at Strava Craft Coffee. Support them. It's one of the best ways to support us right now.
All right, so back here, guys, DNVR Nuggets podcast. Don't forget we're also a podcast. Don't forget we'll be back all week, 1 o'clock p.m. Mountain Time. You're going to be one tuning in. Let's look back on the regular season now. What an up and down season it has been.
Oh
but I will
my
say
God.
it's funny because when earlier you said we all thought this was going to be the year of MPJ. I'm not sure it was. It was a year of MPJ, but this is a Jokic MVP season. And even tonight, like 21 points in one half, he was on pace for 42. I feel like not that you can whittle things down to one person or whatever, but I think the number one thing I will think about this regular season was Jokic's MVP, man. From the moment, I think I placed that bet on DraftKings in Game 4 because it was like right from the start, you were like, this is a different Jokic than before.
Yep.
It was immediately evident, and that carried all the way through the regular season.
I think that the big change for me came with Jokic was a top 10 player last year. And
Yeah.
now he just became
First team
like
NBA.
a top 5, player.
Wasn't he the first team? The year before he was first team then.
Yeah, what first and then last year second.
Yeah, so
Anthony Davis, the center, was
Right,
first
okay.
yeah,
team
so I
last year.
think that's the big change is like Michael Porter Jr. was not a player that was like a top player and then
Right.
became a top player. Also, he unlocked the Nuggets in ways that, not to say Jokic couldn't, because Jokic is still himself. He's still one of the best basketball players in the world. I just think that with Michael Porter Jr. like evolving and becoming that guy for the Nuggets, it allowed Jokic to open up and become how good he really is. So just to have them two work together and then also have a really good player in Jamal Murray as well, the sky's the limit for this team.
But here's the thing.
The legs are the limit.
The legs are the limit. Here's the difference, though, because I think it's exponential. We talked about this last year because we agreed, like, Jokic, 8th or 9th best player, sometimes the 6th or whatever, but every rung you go up gets more difficult. And I think last year you looked at it and thought, if you go in a series with this player, is he the best? Is he the best? I honestly think you go into it right now, and I'm like, he can be or is the best player in any series he could play in.
No question.
Including a Lakers one. Now, they got two. They got, like, 2 great players. But, that's how I honestly feel about you. I didn't feel that way last year where it was like
Yes.
LeBron or whatever, this or that. But now I look at it. And so that's why, to me, it is meaningful that Jokic just took the most difficult level. He's got to prove it now in the playoffs. But the regular season, it just went up a whole other level.
To me, I think if it were up to Jokic, basketball would be a faceless army. And in the NBA, that's not how it works. In the NBA, there are faces, and his matters most. And he learned that this year, and that growth was reflected on the court. That understanding, I should say, was reflected on the court. He would be a most improved candidate if he wasn't going to take home this MVP. And that scoring jump is not something to be taken. That is an insane jump in scoring. And for him to stay that efficient, and what we know in Denver was that wasn't that he necessarily went home and added move X, Y, and Z. It was a mindset change. He knew what he had to do to be that guy. And I think a full season later, you're going, there's no one way to win with Jokic. If you have Jokic on your team, you have a chance to win any game, any night.
Yeah, I've just been thinking about like all of the preseason stuff that we did in the preview series, and we actually were pretty dead on just in sort of how the season was going to go.
Isaiah Hartenstein.
Listen, I mean, you take L's. You don't get 100% right, but the general thrust of how we thought the season was going to go. We talked about this being the season of Michael Porter Jr. We talked about Jokic having a real MVP campaign this year. We talked about Jamal Murray taking the next step, which he had. It's like this is why, like, I don't know. We're in looking at who our opponent is now. Like, even though the plan did not get to where we wanted to exactly how we envisioned it, like, I'm just supremely confident in this team as they are constructed. Like, I know that they have the metal required to get out of a series with Portland when maybe they didn't a few years back. Like,
they've done wilder things already.
Jokic is just so much different than he was when we played them the last time around. I mean, that really, to me, that's all it comes down to. Like, Jokic's confidence can easily spread over to Michael Porter Jr., very easily spread over to Aaron Gordon. All we need are players playing at high effort around Nikola Jokic.
This playoffs is a little different from the previous two, because you think about 2 years ago, even though the Nuggets were a high seed, I think they were the 2 seed 2 years ago, even though they still were very much the, like, Jokic got to prove it in the playoffs, this or that. Last year, the bubble, but nobody thought, like, going into the Clippers series, everybody's like, Kawhi, then Paul George, then Jokic, and then, whatever.
Right.
This year, he really is the top dog. Like, Dame is coming for him now. Jokic has to, like, sort of stand his ground and prove, like, Dame's trying to snatch the crown for him, so it's a little bit of a completely different dynamic. And even with the Nuggets being shorthanded, I have a feeling that the series lines will come out, and it'll be close to 50-50. My guess is DraftKings is going to put this at close to a pick'em.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, but I don't feel that way, but I wouldn't be surprised just because there's history there.
Do you think Denver will be favored?
They should be. They have home court advantage.
And the MVP.
And the MVP.
So it might be like minus 130 or 140. I mean, do you think it'll be bigger than that?
No, I mean, they should get the default advantage
home court
that
advantage
the home court affords you.
Okay, yeah.
No. I pick them no way. That assumes that Portland can come in here and win on Denver's home floor, which I've yet to see that.
If we take, again, we're just looking back at the regular season, Michael Porter and where he's at right now, has he exceeded, where does he fall in terms of expectation? We all thought he was going to be good. Is he ahead of where you projected him right now?
There's nobody that can sit here and thinks that he's not ahead of expectations.
I was really high on Michael Porter, man.
But even us, I think.
You're right.
Not Wilt Chamberlain, not like
right.
the best in Nuggets history.
Yeah,
nobody
that's a great
thought
point.
he would be that good.
Yeah,
like he was up and down. He was battling like with the rotation. He still had to learn how to defend. He didn't know where to be at on the court. There was a lot of things that he battled this year. And then for him to, like, finish the year and become such a complete player the way that he did, like, that's a testament to the hard work that he put in, and also just, like, his pedigree, like, the hard work that there was no excuses. He just came out every single night. Like, he wasn't a distraction. Like, I thought that leading into this year, like, he's a true basketball player that, like, loves the game and plays it the right way. Like, he's good. And he's way higher than my expectations.
That was the pleasant surprise to me. I mean, the scoring, as good as it is, I think we all, we're privy to some stuff as media, and like if you've seen or heard this guy playing, you kind of knew that he was special. But it was the other stuff. It was the commitment to the defensive improvement, which was there all year long. The attitude, the approach, the way that for about 2 years, all of us on the outside worried about Malone's approach with Porter and how that might push Porter away. Turns out it was pushing Porter closer in.
Yeah,
and he was behind
it's so
him.
true.
And I think those are the ways, what we found out about Porter in terms of what he's about as a basketball player.
He's about it, baby.
Pleasantly surprising.
Dude, Porter's the truth. Porter's the truth. He's a little truth seed that we've planted. Now it's just about waiting for him to mature in time to, really start to rain hellfire down on Portland, which I have every confidence he'll be able to. I don't imagine him shying down from this. Like, I think you just alluded to it. Like, his whole life is, every level he's played in has been like, all eyes on Michael Porter Jr. I mean, granted, he didn't get any high leverage situations in college when he only played 3 games or whatever. But like, he's not unaccustomed to being.
One of those was a tournament game. It was very high leverage, but it's nonetheless. It doesn't matter.
Nonetheless.
The other thing too that what I feel confident is if Portland goes out there and they attack him and he doesn't look good and CJ outplays him, I am confident that Porter will go home,
no doubt,
look in the mirror, and approach that offseason appropriately.
So, a friend of mine watched a pickup game last year with Murray and Porter and a bunch of guys, and I just remember saying, you watch these games, Porter's the best player on the court, and it's like unquestionable, just dominates the open run. and talking to some of the players, like, is he always like this? Yeah, he's always like this. He just dominates pickup basketball. You knew the tools were there. You knew the shot was there. You knew all this. It was all about, as you referenced with when you're talking about Malone, it was all about him figuring out the game, figuring out what it means to sacrifice and go through the process and be patient and all that. And I honestly think that's what this year's about. So for me, when we asked the question, was he good, did he exceed expectations? From a basketball standpoint, honestly, this is more or less what I expected now, 44% on that volume. Maybe not, but I said last year he's a 40% three-point shooter.
Yep.
So I expected him to be a great three-point shooter. The part that surprises me and why, in my opinion, it's all come together for him in the back half, and especially over the last 8 weeks or whatever, is because that other part, as I genuinely think, if you think about where he was the first 20 games of the season, even after he came back, up and down, talent, obvious, every other part, you're like, man, I don't know. But now it's like there's no question he's closing the game. There's no question in the playoffs he's going to play 38-plus minutes, maybe more than that most nights. And it's because he's learned all those other parts, at least well enough, that you feel confident with him. And to me, the regular season, number one, Jokic MVP. But number two, it's that Michael Porter hit the mental and maturation aspects of basketball caught up to the physical tools.
And just quickly, very important, super chat sticker from Scott Carpenter. Pair character. I'll put it back up, Kale. Pair character stretching his arm forward, raising his thumbs up. Let's go, Scott.
That's right. So
you get
true.
us, dude, and that's why I'm happy to read your super chat sticker.
Third storyline for me, probably Facu, to be honest with you. And what a roller coaster we had with Facu. I mean, if you would have told us 8 weeks ago that we'd be sitting here being like Facu, a real asset to the playoffs in our estimation, would have been surprising. But that's how I feel. He's an asset.
He does. He just plays the right way. He plays hard, like you would expect a player of his size. But he also he stands out in the right ways. And when a player's that small, you don't expect him. You expect him to get attacked. You expect him to get put on ISO situations. Yeah. Not be able to keep up with the speed coming from a whole different type of play, a style of play. And for him to just adapt and to just walk right into the starting lineup and continue the winning. And that's not only with Jamal gone. That's with Will Barton being gone. That's with having to learn a whole new group of not being in the second unit and learning it the right way. That's with playing off of the ball at times. He learned the way to play NBA basketball in a different way, and it wasn't in his natural state.
No.
And I think that's just it's crazy to see how he is right now, and just to see that no one talks down on him. He's a great teammate.
Yeah.
He does it the right way every single time. If you root against Facu, you hate yourself.
Yeah, you do. You don't like fun. You probably hate puppies also. If you don't like Facu.
Yeah, probably so. That's wild.
People do. Yeah. Well, the thing about Facu is that I don't know how much he learned. It's just that he just got comfortable here, right? He just got opportunity, and for him playing the right way is playing nobody else ever,
Right.
His right way is just a little tiny ball of kinetic energy at all time, just waiting, or potential energy, just waiting to unleash it on some unsuspecting lazy pass or something that people are just
Not
whoa.
even lazy pass, man. He times out good passes and just sprints. It's he's waiting, and as soon as it goes, he sprints for it. So funny.
I forgot to think of him as a rookie because he is
old.
something more, right? Not just old, though, but accomplished.
Yeah.
And so what I mean is if he were a 23-year-old rookie, I'd be going, well, guys, let's give him some time. It's been half the season. He's playing out of position.
Yes.
When you spell it all out, oh, well, of course it looked suboptimal at first, but he was still a rookie, adjusting to a massive sort of change in the physicality of the leagues he was playing in. So, we probably should have afforded him more time. I've always liked Facu, but I think 3 months ago I was on a pod with Harrison Wind wondering if he's out of the playoff rotation.
Right.
Obviously, some guys have gotten hurt since then, but where would the Nuggets be without Facu? And I can't wait to find out, if the Argentinians are right. They've been telling us all year long, wait till you see him when these games matter. I can't wait.
Fourth storyline for me is the Aaron Gordon trade. I mean, he's on the team. It's funny because we look ahead to the Blazers in the playoffs. I'm not sure that he has a natural matchup. Norman Powell can score, and that's going to be important to shut, to limit all of their scoring. But Damian and CJ are their guys, and so it'll be interesting to see what kind of impact he has. But just his ability to unlock Michael Porter, I don't think it's a coincidence that Porter's rise pretty much coincides with Aaron Gordon's arrival. It was a little bit before that. I think they're a little independent, but I mean, it's sustained this whole time, and I think that finding Aaron Gordon was obviously the fourth storyline.
Do you guys think, is there any utility, or is there any value in putting Aaron Gordon on CJ McCollum in this series, as opposed to a Norman Powell or a Robert Covington? It might be a little too small for Gordon. I mean, Doncic is kind of a forward guard. That makes more sense physically.
Dude, it feels like Shaq Harrison was brought here to guard CJ McCollum.
A little small, but you're
He's not that small. I mean, I feel like that's all right.
To your point, I would say yes. And it was actually something that you said a little bit earlier where you said Michael Porter Jr., like, what does he do if he doesn't, defend well and things like that? And I'm like, well, he does not have to guard Lillard. He does not have to guard McCollum.
That's a good point.
And now you have a guy like Aaron Gordon that allows you to have a taller defender that can play McCollum. When I think about that, you think about like Cephalosha, defending in series that really mattered. And just that size and length makes it really difficult. And then you could hide Michael Porter Jr. and have him play a lot of help side with Robert Covington and Carmelo Anthony.
Yep.
So now you have a floater the entire time. But Aaron Gordon, I think that you brought him in for defense. You don't expect a lot on offense. This is the perfect series for him to just be an irritant. You could put him on at different spots. You could have him in help side if you do want to put him in those type of spots. I think that Aaron Gordon unlocks the Nuggets defensively, and whatever you thought about him in the regular season doesn't matter. This is what he was brought in for, so this is when he turns on.
right.
He can win over a lot of fans too by knocking down some threes.
Yeah.
They're the same height, by the way, Shaq and CJ.
Yeah. It's true though. Like now you can officially start judging Aaron Gordon.
It's so true. Yeah.
Before it's like, all right, this is like when our favorite Twitter argument when Jamal was like not living up to his contract. We're like, doesn't kick in until next year. Can't judge it till next year. And then the bubble happened. You're like, see. So just wait, man. Let's see what happens with AG. Like the times that we've really been criticizing him, it seems for always being just for lack of effort. And playoffs have a way of bringing out maximum effort in people. So
let's take our final break. On the other side, though, I want to look at the extended playoffs. Let's not overlook Portland. We'll talk about that matchup, but also beyond that, how are things shaking out? I think there's some interesting things that happened tonight in that regard. But first, Vogt. What do you got for us?
what do you
We've
have for
had
us?
several DNVR listeners switch over to Green Mountain Dental Group over the years. They've made them their permanent family dentist. Those listeners have reached out. They've let us know how great that experience was, why they switched. In case you didn't know, Green Mountain Dental Group is in Lakewood. They're the best and family-owned dentist in the metro. And they're extreme Colorado sports fans just like you, just like me, just like all of us here at DNVR. You could find yourself talking about the weather at your dentist's office. If you're really unlucky, maybe politics. But if you're dope, if you're a DNVR member, you could find yourself talking about Nikola Jokic. That's just much better. So remember, get a cleaning, x-ray, and exam at Green Mountain Dental Group and receive a free Sonicare toothbrush out the door. That's a ridiculous value. It's a win-win for you. Like, you just win twice. It's a double. It's two. Okay. Closing the ad. Green Mountain Dental Group. Check them out. Make them your permanent dentist. We also got to talk about Manscaped, guys. We've been pushing that lawnmower 3.0 on you. I've already upgraded to the lawnmower 4.0.
What?
It's out there. It's out there. This is your public announcement and news you've all been waiting for. The Manscaped engineering team has confirmed they have successfully created the lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, which is now available for purchase in USA and Canada. This new trimmer, it was pretty much just released. Join over 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped. We've got this exclusive offer for you, 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code DNVR at manscaped.com. The Lawnmower 4.0 gives you the ability to turn the 4000K LED spotlight on and off when needed for a more precise shave. They've got guards. It's hard to cut yourself. You can do it in the shower. That's always smart. That's always effective. Look, it's 2021. Stop neglecting the men's grooming side of things, all right?
You know what? I'm going to stop neglecting the men's grooming side of things.
There you go.
I'm going to get Manscaped, guys.
We did not need that.
Well, it's been a rough year. Quarantine.
What does that mean?
I was in quarantine. I was trying to buy Brendan some time by
it's not working.
singing myself, but it's maybe even distracted.
I'm back.
Let him.
I am back. Surely, you're probably hearing how great mortgage rates are right now, but Mike and Virginia at Chevalier Mortgage are not just your typical mortgage company. Yeah, they've got phenomenal rates, but what really makes them different is that Mike is a certified financial planner and looks at so much more than just the rate when designing your home loan. Also, they're a small family-owned company, so you'll always feel like a person and not a number. That's important to us here at DNVR. Call Virginia directly at 303-257-6578 or visit www.dnvrmortgage.com. That's www.dnvrmortgage.com. Enter to win a free DNVR shirt or hat when you do, and most importantly, get set up with a free consultation to discuss all your options. Check out Mike and Virginia at Chevalier Mortgage.
All right, so now we look at the playoff picture, and we stay on Portland. Melo's never won in Denver.
No, my God.
The 7-game series will have 4 such matchups.
No, they won't. Have 2.
Just 2. Going straight forward, straight sweep. I love it. I love it. So that'll be an interesting. There's some intrigue there. Obviously, the Nurkic-Jokic battle.
Yes.
I know our Serbian friends will be very,
very
heightened.
Last time we played the Blazers, it was very intense.
Very intense.
It was very intense online. It was very intense in the air. Like, it was a great playoff series. It just unfortunately ended the wrong way.
Remember how much Blazers, bloggers, were thinking how Jokic is so dirty,
dude.
Remember, he's so dirty.
Take a freaking look at this.
Take a freaking look at
Portland,
this, please.
like, dude, Portland Twitter embarrassed themselves so badly during that
Portland's
series.
a bubble, though, man. Like, it's
Dude, I mean, Portland's a place that I just...
they have no idea about this.
I have spent my whole life, like, I've been to Portland so many times. It was a place I was, like,
cool city.
Thought of as, like, a sister city to Denver. And, like, after that, I was like, man, what a bunch of soft babies. Like, seriously, the way they went about their
I remember
business,
one guy wrote something like,
terrible.
I used to really love Jokic. Such a shame
the way
finding out he's like this or something. Like
Did you see how hard he boxed out? Doesn't he know Enes'
has a
shoulders
short
hurt?
shoulder. It was the
So
latest.
embarrassing.
Oh,
Dude,
no.
Portland, you need to tighten the F up if we're going to face you in a playoff matchup. No more of that garbage from last time. Like, just meet us like a real fan base, would you please?
So another thing that happened today, not necessarily tonight, but today, Golden State secured the 8 seed. Lakers now secure the 7 seed. We're looking at the greatest one-game playoff in the
Let's
history of the NBA. There's only been a few, but this one will be the best one.
This one should be the best one.
Is this
call.
one of one?
Man,
No, last year.
I'm thinking of like taking the day off of work and I need to prepare for this. That is going to be a moment just to watch them. I don't even care who wins. I just want to see the battles. We just talked about like how people embarrass themselves online. Think about how online is going to be with the Steph Curry versus LeBron like stands that day. That's going to be a war.
I'm going to be all over my burner account all day.
Dude, that is a big market off. The big markets
It
are
is,
coming
it
together.
is.
They have to come together and figure out
What do
which
you think
One
Nick
is
Wright's gonna
significantly
say?
better than
which
the other
big
one.
market
bigger.
is more just than the other.
Oh my God, Nick Wright will never live. Forget Jokic. He's like the Steph Curry truther. So if Steph Curry gets LeBron, like Nick Wright just has to quit his show.
Dude,
but
I mean, it's so funny that LeBron said someone needs to get fired. The NBA is like, hang on, you're telling us we somehow got Steph versus LeBron again?
I know, it's so
like,
funny.
bro, we're fine with this.
So best scenario would be for the Lakers to lose that first game. I mean, best case is they lose both games and they're out. That's great.
Nice.
But if you had to pick, like if it stacks up where the Lakers get to the 8 seed, all of the scariest teams would be on the other side of the bracket. I mean, right now Denver has Portland, which again, tough, not trying to disrespect them, but of the easier ones that they could have had. Then you go to then you go to the second round and you're looking at Phoenix versus the winner of the other one. If that's Golden State, Phoenix, Golden State, like both of those teams I look at and I go, tough, but they don't have anybody that can guard Jokic, right? Like that's the number one thing is now Jokic can probably feast in both of them. And then you put the Jazz, the Clippers, and the Lakers all on the same side. That'd be perfect. Perfect.
Listen,
Listen.
it's meant to be. What has transpired is what was supposed to transpire.
Well, you know what I've been speaking into existence?
What's that, baby?
The revenge tour.
It's the freaking revenge.
You get
know how much-
Blazers?
Listen, oh
You
my
get
God.
freak- Lakers?
Look at this, please.
Dude, take
You
a
get
freaking
Warriors?
look at this lineup,
At
dude.
NBA. You know what the best part was? He added the NBA.
Yeah, no, it was-
Presumably they did take
yeah.
a
It
look at
was
this.
the most
They're good.
shameful representation of a team and city I've ever seen online. We've had many playoff series since and before, and never has a fan base embarrassed themselves so deeply as you, Portland. I look forward to you coming back into our world.
There's like 4 really nice, respectful Blazers fans in our chat right now.
Yeah.
And Eric's like, your team sucks.
Oh, listen,
Your whole city sucks.
Oh, listen to the 4 people with us. You guys are great. Your team sucks and your city sucks.
Okay, I want to go back to something that you were hitting on at the top, though.
I
Adam.
like Portland. I have fun in
I
Portland.
do think we have to prepare ourselves mentally
Elliott Smith wrote a
for
great
Carmelo
album for
Anthony.
Portland.
I think he maybe gets one in Denver, right? In
Hey
this
man,
series.
don't speak that. What is wrong with this? He's not from here. That's why I forget.
That's
I
where
forget.
you were-
He's the
that's where
one
you were
non-transplant.
that's where
Maybe
you were
He was
going
trying
with
to
it,
like
and you
stop
know it.
people from sinking, and then he throws.
I know,
that in
I
there.
know.
Like, what is
First of
this
all,
about?
maybe if you told me that 10, 11 years ago he would get one win
I
in
know.
Denver, I would have said, yeah,
Yeah,
probably. But guess what?
All right, fair enough.
F it, man. He broke an unbreakable code.
All I'm saying is
He asked out of a title contending team. I'm sorry,
I
baby.
want that
Maybe-
streak to
He went home
persist.
at
That's
halftime.
what I'm saying, man.
He basically did. So anyway, it does break nicely for Denver in that Utah obviously going to the other side and then them getting it as it is. So, and then here's another scenario for you guys. It's not unfathomable to think that the Lakers and Warriors both win their first round series. They get into the 7-8 and win. And guess what that would mean? The Nuggets would be the top ranking team in the Western Conference and have home court the rest of the way. Ain't that some shit?
That is some shit.
Even if they don't, even if say just the Warriors or Lakers win the first round, then you still get home court in the second round, and then Jazz Clippers, maybe that would happen. So there's a really good chance that Denver can end up just with home court throughout their run should they want, which would be
This kind of just
great.
has to you have to tip your hat to Malone and those guys. It worked out the way that they wanted to. If that type of thing happens, even now, I truly do believe that Jokic in his mind is bring on whoever comes. I really do not care who it is. We're gonna have to play whoever's in front of us. Let's do this. We wanted the Mavericks. Who knows? Maybe they wanted Portland. Maybe this is really a revenge tour for them as well. Bring on Portland.
Man, nothing would make me happier than to find out that they were no, it's not. We weren't ducking anyone. We wanted the Blazers.
Yeah.
We needed to go back and get them.
That'd be huge. And then also it did and also play the way that they wanted to play. You guys battle it out. You guys go to war. If we get past this, it's still in our favor. We're still have the best in the series every single night. You guys have to answer us. We don't have to answer you guys.
Is there more pressure on Denver or Portland?
Probably
Portland.
more pressure on Portland. Yeah, I mean, there was more pressure on Portland the second the injuries broke in Denver, because Portland's on this timeline now, Dev. Right? If they need to see some success.
Remember there was rumblings with Dame earlier in the
Right,
year, he's
yeah.
starting to say I'm loyal. Why aren't you guys doing this for me? So yeah, there's some pressure.
They've got to. We've been saying this every year, but they've got to be close to whatever that finish line is. If they don't win,
Yeah.
I was in the chat.
Damn it. More pressure, Portland or Denver?
Denver.
Why?
Because we have been in sort of this place of evolution. We have the MVP. I mean, our plight until until noted otherwise is just the fight for respectability and the fight for people to acknowledge us as the team that we know we are. And so, if we go out and we lay another egg against Portland, it sort of just wipes out everything Nikola Jokic did all season. It sort of wipes out everything that we've been building towards. Portland, they're coming up from a place where no one is expecting anything from them. We're actually now cursed with expectation. The one thing that you always want, but once you have, changes the dynamic entirely. And so, luckily, the Nuggets have quite a few gamers, and we see what it looks like when their backs are against the wall.
Kale, throw that asshole out of the chat.
Which one? Me? Sorry.
No, Eric.
the guy who just said that Jokic isn't a scoring
Trevor
threat.
Lear, whatever.
Thanks, Trevor.
With dickweed. Sorry, what were you saying?
Trevor Lear. Oh, I think I was saying what a dickweed Trevor Lear was. No, dude, the Nuggets are in a different place, and we have leveled up, and we need to prove to the world that we are worthy of that, because we just always have that, that gnat
So
or that
injuries
Nick Wright in our
notwithstanding.
ear.
Injuries notwithstanding,
Yes, I think the Nuggets still are. They didn't stop winning when we lost Jamal Murray. They've been the hottest team, or at least close to the hottest team in the NBA since that point. And so it's time for Nikola Jokic to step up and show the world that he is the rightful MVP. And in my mind, like that's what this comes down to. But Portland has no answer for Nikola Jokic. When he gets rolling, when Nikola Jokic becomes inevitable, when Nikola Jokic turns into Thanos, like you can't stop that dude. And so, yes, like Dame can get hot, CJ can get hot, but they're not going to just cook the Nuggets. Like that's not what the series is going to be about.
I think I go both ways with mine, because I think that, and it's a good place for the Nuggets to be in. Actually, is I believe that for Jokic himself. If the Nuggets lose, then people are going to say, that MVP is tainted.
Right.
Like, that's the one person.
That's what I'm saying.
But on the other side, whenever you talk to national media, they would say, the Nuggets are a great team, and it always comes back to the injury. But the best part about it is Jokic is the king of, we have nothing to lose. Like, we don't care. There's no expectations. And if he's the only person with the expectations and he does not care about that, that's a great spot for the Nuggets to be in, because everybody else, they're going to put themselves in the underdog spot, because leading into this for the next 5 days, all they're going to talk about is the Nuggets don't have Jamal Murray. The Nuggets don't have Will Barton. The Nuggets are injury. Like, they're going to just talk about all of the negatives about the Nuggets instead of they have the MVP and they've won all of these games. And that's a good spot to be in, because you could just go out there and play free. Now it's on Lillard and McCollum to say, you can't lose to this team that is missing their second best player, and they have a budding like superstar that has never really performed in the playoffs. So I think that's the expectations are high for Nuggets, but I think all of the pressure is on Portland.
Yeah, I do think there's pressure on Yoke to perform and to perform well. I mean, and I think he
Heavy
will.
weighs the crown, my man. Even
Yeah.
if it's a tiny little crown that we place on you to win King of the Game on your cardboard cutout, dude. You just.
Yeah.
If you want to be the king, you have to perform.
Michael Porter said he's going to take the week off. I mean, they're going to have practice, but to really add elements to his game.
I love that so much.
I love
He's
it too.
talking about
He's got
2K.
5 days.
He's talking about 2K,
talking about
guys.
2K, where he's also awesome. I mean, honestly, you expect it?
Expect it? Anything to change in 5 days?
Sure, why not?
Because that's a very short amount of time. That would be the why not. I believe him. I believe he's going to be working out in the gym.
Honestly, it's funny because in that amount of time, you really can add some confidence in something. And for me, it'd be confidence, pick and roll, pull up shooting. It's just a little thing. It's not something he's probably done a lot of in his life, but his ability to sort of turn the corner and pull up from the mid range and knock down shots, it's going to be open. I mean, Nurk loves to play that drop coverage, sink way down. It's going to be wide open, and then. Likewise, if you can get that going, then you get the shot fake, drop off, or kick back for the pop. So I hope there's something there. All right, Kel says we have a lot of super chats to kind of close out. Again, quick reminder, guys, all week, 1 o'clock. Tonight I'm going to be up late, digging into the video, start gathering some notes, preparing for it. All week we're going to have some great
feel
shows.
free to send those "you up" messages to Adam.
You up?
He will be.
I will be up. All right, first super chat, what do we got? It says, I hate to say it, but Melo is finally. So you're with Vogt over here. You guys are Debbie Downers.
Dude, that's
It's
from
not a guarantee.
Vogt.
It's not a
Vogt's
guarantee.
from
That was
Vogt.
my bad. That's my
Let me-
bad.
Hey,
Vogt's
guys.
shirt 10 out of 10. Is that
Yeah,
what
it
that
was-
says?
Again, you just have to remember that you would have thought he would have won one over the last 10 years. So maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't. We'll find out. What else we got? Para-character, Jokic with scratch marks playing to referee Vogt for a call.
This shirt is 3 different shades of blue.
That's not blue. Well, yeah, I guess
No,
it is.
it's
There's
definitely
one-
blue. It's
there's 2 shades of blue and
At
1
least
shade of
you
green.
know that
We're living in
There's
a
1
world-
shade of
They're
green.
just trying it at this
We're living
point.
in. I see no green, but
You don't see the green.
No, where's the green?
The
Yes.
green is the. You see the green?
Yeah, it's like lighter blue, but it's green.
That-
Yeah, that's green. No, that's blue.
I'm
The
wearing-
other
I'm
one. No,
wearing-
that's navy.
I'm wearing a gray sweatsuit to the first round of the playoffs.
Oh, right here. I can't see. I've got a weird.
You have a
shadow
weird
here.
angle. I told you what I'm a super color noticer. As you,
That's
as
right.
you
Yeah,
very well know.
Adam.
You forgot that. One time Eric changed the color of the Nuggets blue just slightly, and who noticed it? I noticed it.
Yeah,
You
but then
can't
it
stick
spiraled
past me.
you into a.
I'm a super
death
color
trap
noticer.
That you ended up being very wrong about very.
I'm like an
bunch of other
eagle.
things. Are you? In that you could be swatted by Harrison Wind?
Or he was wrong about that. You're wrong about that. All right, what else do we have? Our last show was way off the rails. If you guys missed it, highly recommend you
Dude,
go back
it
and
was
watch
on. It was on the.
Or don't. I don't know if I
rails is
recommend
what
that.
it was on.
Not sure you'll remember, but in a preseason show, y'all convinced me to get on Jokic MVP.
$50 at plus
$50 at plus
3,400.
34, and we cash it in, baby. That's right. Take it to the DNVR Bar and spend it all, baby. Just start buying. $50, you just bring it here. You say, you got a shot, you got a shot, you got a shot. That's how it's going to be. Come on. By the way, guys, the playoffs, we have no restrictions.
Oh, man, that's going to be
We have no restrictions. Pack yourself in here. First get your vax. Make sure you're vaccinated. Then come on down here. Pack yourself into this bar because it is going to be lit.
It's going to be so dope.
All right, what else we got?
It's going to be litty, my man.
Denver has no pressure. Portland has all the pressure. This isn't even Denver's best team, and look at the success they've had. Nuggets in 7. All right.
Can I just say, dude, CJ McCollum's only 6'3".
Yes.
Is he just the world's biggest 6'3" person? What's good with
his
that?
hair is 3 feet tall, dude.
I've always
he
thought
has
of him as
an
big.
Urkel flat top.
I've never thought of him as bad.
I guess it's just because he's like a tough shot maker. He's shooting over the top of guys. I don't know.
He's really good at just getting to his spots and fading away a little bit, So I don't know.
All cone drill.
Adam, I see a comment here that says Adam is an expert at so many things. According to Adam, it's true, man. It's crazy.
You have no idea, actually.
You really don't, but yet it's always proven to be right. It's the wildest thing.
It really does depend on what the word proven means in that sentence, but you're totally right.
Undeniable evidence that erases all doubt.
There was like 20 comments, and you saw the one that said your name.
I did. I saw my name, and I was like, "That's somebody raving about me." He kind of is. Thinks he's not, but he is. Guys, all right. Nuggets, Blazers. I'm ready for it, man. All week we're gonna be hyping you up. It's gonna be a hype show every single day.
I told you fools going into this, I wanted the Blazers. You convinced me that I should want the Mavericks, but I fear not of the Blazers.
My mind was like that we were playing the Mavericks. That's part of it. Don't you ever have a thing and you're like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Luka Jokic,
no.
and then it's not, and you're kind of like, wait a second.
Right.
And that's all it was. Now I'm over it. Now it's Nuggets Blazers. Let's do this.
I think with the way the injuries are, both of these teams' fan bases are looking at it like your guys can't guard our guy. And
Blazers won a Nuggets for sure.
And so it's going to be a fun one, man. I think I'd be shocked if this is less than 6 games. Shocked.
Battle, baby. Get yourself ready, and get yourself ready by becoming a DNVR member. You get access to a free shirt. You also get access behind the paywall. I'm going to have several episodes of the list up this week.
Yeah.
Nothing but film study, doing a deep dive on the matchups. Jokic, Nurkic, of course. Going to be getting into that. Where does he score his points? How do those go? Can't wait for that.
Yeah.
We're going to have all kinds of great stuff.
And I've been teasing that I have 2 more shirts that they have been submitted to the printer. They are happening. I just need to.
Oh, so when we get them, there'll be no lag time.
Yeah.
It'll be like we're dropping it ASAP.
So if you're thinking about becoming a DNVR member, now is absolutely the time. When you sign up, you just get a code that you can apply towards later. So you can get one of these 2 new T-shirts. You can get the Showtime, but really more than anything, you can get the coverage, man. It's playoff time. We're upping our game. So come along.
Real quick before we get out of here, first reaction. You're not held to this. We'll have our final predictions Friday, but first prediction, first gut feeling.
Nuggets in 6.
Vote.
7.
I think 6 feels right. I mean, I think that the Nuggets will win all of their home games. I really do. I don't think that's a crazy thing to anticipate out of this Denver Nuggets squad. The question is, can they steal a few in Portland? We've seen them do it. So 5 or 6, man. I mean, although we were supremely confident going into that Jazz series last year because we'd had regular season success against them, and obviously it turned into the dogfight of our lives. So it seems hard to imagine the Nuggets playing a playoff series that doesn't end in 7. But I got to think that the Nuggets themselves have leveled up alongside with Nikola Jokic.
Nuggets in 7. This is what we do, baby. 7 games. This is what we do. Nuggets in 7. They win all the home games.
One factor I forgot to consider. Do we know anything about Portland's fan capacity?
10%.
10%.
Lower than Denver's.
Lower than Denver's. All right, Nuggets in 7. I feel
Nuggets in 7, baby. Thanks for tuning in. Hit the like button on the way out. And set your clocks. Set your reminders. 1 o'clock tomorrow. We're back right here. We'll see you then.
Let's go.